Okay, so this is actually the start of my bicycle adventure, I guess you could call it. This is basically day one, and day one is really just a recording. It's really a short recording of my attempt to bicycle 50 miles, camp, and bicycle home to see if it's something I can actually pull off in terms of bicycling across the United States. And the video doesn't really go into too much of it. That's why I'm kind of prompting it up with this one. The idea is that I just wanted to take some time off the hamster wheel and go do something kind of crazy and scary and something that I've never really done before. So that's kind of why I started off to explore this idea. But before I could do this, I needed to kind of do a little bit of research, and I needed to kind of get an idea of whether or not it was actually, the dream actually met reality. So I talked to my wife, I purchased a bike, I bought some normal stuff that you would do for that, like tent and backpack and all that kind of stuff. And so I picked a place that was 50 miles away from my house. And my plan was take a day off work, cycle out there on Friday, camp out on Saturday, cycle back Saturday, and then I'd have enough information to determine if I really thought this would kind of work with the deal. So what you'll see is that I did a short video at the campsite, but what I didn't describe is actually what actually happened. So 50 miles there, the longest I had done was about 40 miles before without a pack on the bike. So what I figured I would do is get my son to drop me off about, I don't know, 15, 20 mile head start. That way my legs aren't shot as I camp. I figured if I was gonna have shot legs, I might as well make it on the last day on the way back. So he gives me about a 15 or so mile boost. My battery runs out of my phone. I'm at like a Dairy Queen, and I call my wife to basically give me a boost into essentially close to the campsite. Then I camp and it's crazy hot, and then it rains sideways all night long and rains the whole next day, that Saturday. So I ultimately call my wife up and ask her to come and pick me up. So then she comes and picks me up, we drive home, and then I declare that little test was successful. And my wife was looking at me like, are you kidding me? Your son gave you a boost, I had to take you the rest of the way, and then I had to pick you up. You know, what happens when you get further away? I can't come help you. So that's kind of part of the start of the adventure. So and the whole reason that I actually put this up on YouTube was for three reasons. One was so I can use it to remember this experience by over the years, 10, 20 years from now. Two, I used it to actually let my friends know that I was okay during the process, because many of these videos I actually published while I was on the route. And then three, if anybody aspired to do something like this along the route that I did, then they actually had a chance to see what the roads look like, what the shoulders look like, how bad was the traffic, kind of give you an idea. What were the towns like, the ones that I drove through or stopped at? I figured there'd be some value there, so that's why I kind of exposed it out to the public. So there you go. Okay, so one other thing I forgot to mention is that I actually lost 32 pounds doing this thing. So this video here shows a before and after of losing that weight. So I thought I'd throw that in here as well. Well, I bit off more than I can chew, at least on this first go around. I guess this is why they say don't just jump right out there, do some test runs. So this was a test run 50 miles out from my house, where I basically was going to do a Friday out camp and then a Saturday back. And I just got my bike. I've been riding the bike shop's bike for about a week now, just kind of getting ready, but it was a road bike. And here's the bike. Hopefully that, it's a Trek 920. And, you know, it's the usual stuff. You look online, you look at YouTube, and you figure out what are the experts doing, and you try to pick the stuff that they've already picked, so you don't have to learn as many mistakes as possible. So yeah, so I had to get my son Cole to basically give me a head start, simply because I was concerned that I couldn't get out here in time and then be able to camp, and it's supposed to rain tonight, so, and I didn't want my legs to be too shot. So he gave me a 10-mile head start, and then I got about 20 miles out, and I had to call my wife and ask her to basically give me you know, a 15-mile or so ride over to the place, not all the way in, but then I rode about 5 miles in, just so I wouldn't feel so bad about it. But the idea is I didn't want to tear up my backside and my legs and have sores, and then not be able to push it tomorrow. At least tomorrow I can push it more, and that way when I get home, you know, I can kind of lay up, and you know, I don't have to do it as much, you know, the next day. So there you go. That's kind of the deal. Here's kind of just a look of the campsite. If anyone knows Texas, this is very similar to the hill country. This is actually right outside of Cleburne, Texas, near Granbury Lake. And this is a Tennessee couple who retired, downsized, and picked up some land, and they offer out camping to people that they want. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.